In this video, we're going to be building the biggest LEGO Ninjago Monastery ever, and then be showing it to some of the biggest LEGO Ninjago fans and YouTubers to get a final rating.
Let's get to it.
La vida es un carrusel.
So we're going to start looking at the monastery by looking at the very bottom floor of the set. You can see the old interior layout. Let's light it up a little bit and let's go into it. We'll be starting at the far left end. Now, if you're a normal Ninjago fan, you probably don't remember the kitchen being used a lot in the show. Now, while it wasn't very prominent, it did still have its iconic moment. You might remember the time where the Pyro Whippers tried to take over the kitchen, or the time where Kai looked at the fridge and saw Zane, the time where water exploded in Zane's face when washing dishes, and the time when Maya made Nia breakfast. To match the show, I kind of made it a little bit more empty in the middle. Here is the full view of the kitchen room pullout, and you can kind of see the general room it was pulled from. In the middle, there's a sink with a sponge on the side, and then towards the right, you can see a plant, which you could call Christopher if you wanted to. On the stove, there's a teacup as well as a pancake, which is a reference to the pancake contest Asphere and Wu had.
Pancake flipping. Jinx!
I made the cabinets by using a snot brick and then putting a jumper brick on top of it. And near the cabinets, I also added a little microwave. To the right, I also added a fridge. This fridge has a few shelves stuck to the side which are easily removable in order to make space. And to make space for what? Yes, you guessed it. You can fit Zane into the fridge just like in season 1 of the original show. For our next room, I wanted to build the library from the show. This is where Wu studied a lot of scrolls before the merge happened. In sports, more of a hexagonal shape that we can't really recreate with this video, given that the rooms are rectangular. For this library, I definitely took some creative liberties to make this look a little bit more interesting than the show variant, starting off with the pull-out part of the room. On the desk, a prototype of Zane's falcon is being worked on, while there is a map of the merged realms hung up on the wall. There are 2 crates, one with 3 skulls in it and the other with this lantern piece. It's supposed to be like the prismatic steel ones from the recently revealed sets. And here's a better look at the scroll of the merged maps. Towards the side, we have a small bookshelf with a bunch of different titles. Moving on to the interior of the room, on the right we have schematics for the Falcon along with a bookshelf on top. I tried my best to recreate some of the schematics from the show. On the middle of the wall, we have 2 big pictures as well as some little bookshelves underneath them. First, we have the scroll that taught the ninjas how to do dragon form. And below that on the bookshelf, there is a token of Nia and Jay's yin yang, which will go really well with one of the figures. On the right side, we have schematics for Zane. And then on the bookshelf below, we have a newspaper talking about how Sora won the Tournament of Sources. To the far left, we have a bookshelf made with a ton of different things made with some crazy building techniques. Learn how to make this bookshelf by studying LEGO's recent bookshelf GWP. Fun fact, those actually happen to be the colors for Thunderfang. Next room, I built the bathroom from the show to recreate some very iconic scenes, of course, like the time where Jay came in with a camera, or the time where Jay was staring down the toilet, or the time when this happened. Like, the bathroom definitely had its iconic moments. For the bathroom, I made use of this egalt segment and just gave them a ton of their necessity. They've got a sink with one of those mirror Lego pieces, a toilet, and a shower. And don't worry, the water actually comes out properly. The Relaxation Room has to be one of the more iconic places in the show. It's pretty much the ninja's living room and they do everything from there, from gaming to gaming to gaming. Now I wanted to make it a kind of open space but filled with a bunch of stuff, so here is the full room and this is the full pullout. It pulls out like this and is directly connected to the hallway. The TV is made to be as accurate to the show as possible with loudspeakers. There is a small cabinet to add life to the build, and then there's the picture that the ninjas had in season 3, which I'm actually quite proud of because I think it came out very well in comparison to some of my other drawings. On the table in the middle, I added a plant as well as pizza boxes and a gaming controller. And then on the nearby blue couch, there is another gaming controller. Off towards the side, this is technically inaccurate to the show, but there is a place to go down to the Samurai X cave. I also threw in a green couch so you can have more ninja game. And then there is a crate to the right, which is technically supposed to just be there to be accurate to the show. And then you can also find Arin's punching bag stuck on the wall. Now, over the years, the ninja have had a ton of different weapons. I literally have an entire box filled to the brim with just weapons. So the question is, where have the ninjas put them over all these years? So I decided to build my own LEGO Ninjago Armory. Now, just like the bathroom, the Armory has a wall that can open up and expand so you can expand the play. It has a bunch of cool weapons on the wall along with kendo armor, which is a reference to the kendo suits from LEGO Ninjago Season 1. Towards the back of the room, there are these big stacks of weapons, and these can actually be taken out and placed wherever you want to place them. And so this allows you to expand the play to outside. And there are also lots of little studs hidden so you can customize your layout. Now before we get into the character rooms for the set, I want to take a little break and look at the minifigure selection. Choosing the minifigure selection for the set was one of the hardest things to do because there's an endless number of characters you could choose from. So I decided to start off with the most important characters that need to be here, and that is the ninja team. When I say that, I don't mean the extended ninja team, which is Arin, Sora, Frack, and wyldfyre. And that's because the main 6 are the only characters that have been living at the monastery since season 11 all the way up till now in Dragon's Rising. That does come with the exception of Jay because he wasn't really there during Dragon's Rising, but I think he's going to be there now. Now that the first few characters were set, it was just kind of deciding what suit I want to use. It was either going to be the climber suits or the storm suits. Now you might be wondering, why the climber suits? And that's actually because they are very important in the show. There are multiple images in the show that dictate the ninjas using climber suits before season 2, during season 2, and after season 2. Like literally after they were done using the merge suits, they went to the climber suits, then went to the mech suits, then back to the climber suits, and then to the tournament suits, and then back to the climber suits again before going to their season 3 storm suits. So you'd think I'd use the climber suits since they're literally perfect, but they have a little issue. The mask on it is like stuck, like you can't take that mask off. And this is the ninjas' home. They've done crazy fun things there. They shouldn't have to have their mask on at all times. One thing I love about Ninjago D2Cs is that they have minifigures that appeared in the show but never in the set, like Detective Zane. So I kind of want to do something like this for the ninja team too. Our first minifigure is going to be Storm Suit Zane. I won't be giving this figure any other variations because he already had 2 in January.
Zane, you're huge.
I got swole for buffness.
Yeah, what?
Now I know Ninjago season 11 is probably not peak for a lot of people. I know that because I was researching that season for this video. But Cole's guzzler hat is peak. Cole always used this guzzler hat when he was gaming in the monastery. This is the full mold in it of itself. It's actually 2 separate molds. Pretty much the logistics work in a way that there is like this one little like clip thingy, and you can actually put that onto the top of the hat, which is its own separate mold. Now I know it's going to be very expensive for Lego to make a mold like this, but I think it'd still be really cool to get. And don't worry, Cole's outfit still comes with his storm suit mask. Now the only Dragon's Rising J minifigure we haven't gotten so far happens to be the Administration J minifigure. So I threw him in and he is outfitted with his travel pillow from season 11. This is another one of my new molds with full printing all around it. And yes, I made Administration J a custom print for his torso. Our next minifigure is Storm Suit Nia. Now I did want to say all the storm suits in this video are made by Sock2i, an amazing Mecha Bricks printmaker, so make sure to go check him out. Another Nia minifigure that I really want to have that was introduced in the monastery was the Kimono Nia minifigure. Now this minifigure was not actually made by me either. This was a minifigure made by MySoullessCorpse. Make sure to go check him out too. This blue Nia has a hairpiece with a blue tie instead and looks like a really good minifigure overall. And so I made this yin yang piece from earlier, her accessory. Next up is Storm Suit Lloyd, a really cool figure in my opinion. And then he also comes with Master Lloyd, another really cool minifigure that I wanted in this set. I know he's a pretty cheap minifigure, but his outfit does look really cool. Our last of the main 6, we have Storm Kai, and then along with him we have the Kai Blacksmith minifigure. Blacksmith Kai is such a cool minifigure that I had a lot of fun making. We never got a real Blacksmith Kai minifigure. The closest we got is this one from the market set. But it looks literally nothing like the original, and with Blacksmith Kai last appearing in season 10 in the monastery, I thought it'd be really cool to put him here too. Moving on to some of the other minifigures I wanted in the set, Casual Arin had to be here. It's like the perfect minifigure for a monastery. I know the Sora minifigure is super reused, but it is literally peak and deserves to be here. wyldfyre is very reused, but this is the most current rendition of her. And then we also have my goat Frack, the ninja's latest apprentice. Now one minifigure that just has to be in the set because he is the keeper of the monastery, Alfonso Froheki. It's actually criminal how Lego hasn't given us an official version of this minifigure yet. I'd like to thank the Garden of the Bricks for making this awesome Froheki head. Make sure to go check him out on Instagram and YouTube. Pixel, because I mean she was here in season 3, she definitely has to be in the set. Master Ru, the elemental master of gatekeeping. The only reason I put him in the set is because it's his monastery, but I still hate him. Thank you to my goat Nemomo for making these prints. Make sure to check him out on Instagram. I also made a Bonzel fig because I thought she would be pretty cool to put in the set. And then there's also like 3 forbidden, 5 in the set. Now, if you asked me 2 weeks ago before Dragons Rising Season 3 released why I put them in this set, I would tell you that every Ninjago set should have some kind of villain, and these guys would run the craziest fate ever. Like, they were literally hyped up to be the elemental masters with super cool shatterspin powers. And if you ask me now, I'd say these guys are hiding from the fraud accusations. Like, no way this guy got juked so hard by that. And out of so many shots, he couldn't hit Lloyd like once. Like, you know you're bad when your opponent is hugging someone during your fight. Also, instead of getting a 5-piece combo from Pixel, couldn't he have just like shatterspin his surroundings and, you know, actually win? And he got mocked by Sora of all people too. And what was Rox doing out here trusting Thunderfang? Like, couldn't you have gotten some leverage before trying to free him? Like, make him give the powers first before you unlock him with the last blade. Genuinely, did the Forbidden 5 get mentally nerfed or something? Like, what did they expect was gonna happen? So sorry for including the Forbidden frauds in the set. In my defense, I didn't know. I can't even hate on her. It's not like she did something, but like, she never really had the chance, so. Dude, if I had known that Drix was the go, I'd have just put in 3 Drixes. Heck, all you need is 1 and the ninja are cooked. You know, at this point, Zark probably just used misfortune on himself. The F5 pigs were made by my friend Flo, so make sure to go check him out on Instagram if you haven't already. Anyway, I think this is a pretty solid lineup for the final minifigure selection. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Our first character room is going to be Zane's room. Now, the room in the show quite boring, so I decided to make my own by taking a ton of creative liberties. This room, like every downstairs bedroom, is a pullout, and this room has a plant, which is just everywhere in the monastery, so that's why I decided to include it. On the wall, you can see a picture of Dr. Julian, Zane's father. There's also a shelf on the wall with 2 books on it, and then you can also see Zane's like piece that came off when he was fighting the Overlord. It's that one piece from season 3. I did this because my friend Cripple Carrot came up with it, and I think it came out really cool. I made an alarm called Borg clocks because, I mean, Borg watches exist and now Borg nutritious wafers exist. I think clocks would exist too. I really wanted to make a reference to Pig Zane so you can see that there are some folded clothes on a table. And then I built his bed with a blue and gray stripe to reflect on his color scheme. I also threw in a bow and arrow into his room as a reference to the season 8 Ninjago movie kind of timeline. Our next room is already going to be Nia's room. Off the bat, you can kind of see there's a little Destiny's Bounty there, and on the other side, you can see that there are a couple of her spears. Looking deeper into our pullout room, on the table, we have a plant that actually is made out of a banana peel. We have a glass of water that is a reference to crystallized. We have a cookie, which is a reference to Maya saying that's how the cookie crumbles. And then we also have an old Samurai X helmet, which is supposed to be a preliminary version of the old Samurai X. On the wall, we have a small picture of Jay and Nia dancing, a direct reference to the Prime Empire shorts. Nia has a waterbed, and the slide out fits into the compartment that has the bounty in it. Here are the spears. It's supposed to be somewhat accurate to the show version. And here's a better look at how I built the micro bounty. Our next room is Lloyd's room. So here is how the full pullout looks. On the wall, you can see that there is an F1 card. This is the card that Lloyd got in January of 2025. I'm going to call it an F1 card because LEGO also released a bunch of F1 sets. He also has a small bed with a pillow mitt on it just to make his day. On the shelf, you can see the comic that Kai stole from Lloyd, and then you can also see a little Klinger of Cliff Donegan. Here is a better look at the comic if you are interested. If you are a big OG Ninjago fan, you probably remember that one time when the ninja fought the Grundle and got these cool light swords to fight it. And then there's also this clock because Lloyd is supposed to be organized as a teacher. On the wall, we have a staff as well as a blade. Next up is going to be Jay's room in the monastery. We have a pull-out room here, and you can kind of see how it pulls out. It's really simple. You can see that Master Chicken is chilling on Jay's bed. Master Chicken has to be one of the best things we got from the Ninjago movie. Like, this guy is the GOAT. On the side, we have Jay's arcade thingy so he can play Velocity Racers. On the wall, there is a model train, and then there's also a J car. What that car is up to your interpretation since there are like 5 J cars, but personally, I'd say it's the Evo one. On the side, you can see a poster of Jay's dad, Cliff Gordon, and then you can also see another train on the side. And then with that, we technically cover all of the rooms on the bottom floor. It's now time to move to the top floor. There was a lot of space in the roof. I wanted to put a room in the roof. So we have Kai's room. It has a gaming emulator in it. And you can also see he has a ton of hair gel, as well as a portrait of himself on the side. And then we also have his bed with a really cool fire insignia with Kai's logo on it. The gaming emulator is a reference to that one really weird subplot in season 3.
Even remember it exists.
No matter what's happened to Jay, no matter if his goodness is shattered or his memory gone, wherever he is, whatever he's doing, if his high score is broken, he'll feel it.
Bruh.
Kai also has a closet to the side to keep his suit as well as extra storage and a sword. Next up we got Cole's room, which is relatively simple. There is Master Chicken lying around in his lightning state, so a little bit different than the one in Jay's. We have Cake on the side, and then we also have a place to keep his hammer, and then we have his bed, which kind of looks like a rock, but you know. Next up we have Sora's bedroom. Sora's bedroom will have this workbench that's usually downstairs but brought upstairs to save space, and then this little cat drawing. You can see this cat drawing on Lego form on a piece of paper on her bed, and then you can also see the workbench, and she has a few extra tools back there. Next up we have 2 rooms that go into the big pagoda structure on the top of the monastery. You can kind of see the back over here. Wu's room is very simple. It has a simple study, a bed for him to sleep on, and then there's also a bookshelf with a bunch of references, including one to the dragon hunters. Moving now from the bottom to the top, we have a simple meditation room with nothing in it because the show version also has nothing in it. Moving on to Arin's room, you can see a ton of references here. He has a small bed with white and orange. You can see this is the place where he cooks kais, and then he also has a little picture of him with the Zane haircut on top of that. The family does have a bench that Arin was able to salvage after the merge, and you can see it over here with a Lloyd plushie on top, and then also Arin's parents, as in a picture of Arin's parents to keep as a memory. Next up we have Frack's room, which is quite simple. We have a picture of Frack's family, which is a reference to season 2 part 2, and then we also have a Frack cooking book because why not? And then here we have Frack's bed. On the side, we have Pixel's room, which has a bunch of Lloyd swords on the side, and then has this kind of bed thingy. I made it look like this because it does in the show. I think Pixel does use those Lloyd swords too in the set, so I gave her those. And then there's a picture of Pixel and Zane on the side. For our last room, we have Mr. Frohicke's room. There's a ton of references, this one being a reference to season 3, that one snack that he was going to eat in season 3, episode 8. I gave him a 2x2 tile to-do list. And then on his bed, he has that kind of fly suit that he gave Lloyd in Dragons Rising Season 2, Episode 2, I believe. In his closet, he has this big cleaning machine, and then there's also a picture of Pixel room, so you can put that in her room if you wanted to. Now, some people might be wondering why didn't wyldfyre get a room. This is because she actually doesn't have a room in the show. She sleeps with the dragons canonically. So let's finish off the rest of the monastery build by looking at some of the other things. Here are a few different angles of the set. You can see in the middle there are gates made with a bunch of brown pieces, and then on the monastery itself there are like these brown doors, and then there are some pillars with lantern pieces. I thought the monastery kind of looked like a Spinjitzu ring, so you can kind of like push them out and hit each other. And then there's also this easel of Master Wu hanging out on the front porch. In the middle of the monastery, there is the fountain, and you can actually place the training ring like a literal ring around the fountain. It just slides right on. So the training ring works like this. At the very start, there are those little red things that the ninjas like kind of jump on as they move up and down. And then there's that like spinning contraption. You can kind of see that to the side over here. And then that follows into a ramp where the ninjas run up through. And then that goes onto these like swinging things. You can see those swinging things over here onto more of those red things, and then into the hoops, which are there. And then I also added a little season 1 reference. It's one of those like spinning thingies, so that is that, and this is the full course. Now there is also a corridor or hallway that we didn't really touch upon. You can kind of see it go from here all the way and continue to the end. At the end of the hallway, there's this picture I'm quite proud of. It's a picture of Jay and Nia. And then there's also this picture of Cole and his family as a kid on the walls of the monastery. And then speaking of Cole, we also have a picture of his Titan mech, a full blueprint for his Titan mech on the walls. At the very end, we have this picture from season 3. It looks pretty cool in my opinion. I like having it at the end. And then we also have this picture of Ray and Maya that is hanging in the walls. And yeah, that pretty much wraps it up for this giant set. The box art was actually made by one of my great friends, Riyu. He has amazing content on his account, and if you have an Instagram account, you should follow him. This box art honestly looks amazing. You can see Lloyd and Arin at the top. You can see all the figures that are going to be in the set. It definitely is an amazing box art piece, and it looks perfect. It almost looks like something that Lego would make. And to make things even better, we have a little product animation from the 4 corners. We are now at the stage where we will be hearing thoughts from some of the biggest LEGO Ninjago fans, and we'll get a final rating for the set. Our first reviewer is going to be JW Express. He has some of the best editing ever. Extremely go-to YouTuber, the most effort I see in Ninjago content. Like, if you're not subbed to him, go sub to him right now. Like, I'm not joking. Pause this video, go sub to him, and come back.
What's up, guys? JW Express here, and I'm going to be rating Kalito's UCS Monastery mock, and it's insane. Not only does the build capture the monastery perfectly, but you get some amazing minifigures. The rooms look awesome, and they all slide out just like in the market set, and that is such an awesome detail. And out of all the rooms, I gotta say my favorite Easter egg is the little Lloyd plushie in Arin's room. I'm gonna give this mock a 9 out of 10. The only reason it's not a 10 is because the front could maybe have a plant or something, but other than that, dude, subscribe to Kalito right now. I think he pretty obviously earned it.
No way we actually got a 9 out of 10. Let's go. Our next YouTuber is Four Corners. If you are looking for peak LEGO Ninjago commentary content, this guy is the best for you. He does have a lot of entertaining and fun videos that you should check out. So if you're not subbed to him, definitely do so.
Okay, so Kalito just sent me pictures of his monastery build, and it looks absolutely insane. What I really like is there's like these two spinners, right, which looks super cool. I really like the little training area in the middle as well. Like, it looks exactly like the show. I will say, if there was a criticism, the pagoda structure does look a little simplistic, as well as since it is so huge, all the details kind of been stretched out. The figures are crazy, dude, because look at this. We got Rocks, Mr. Frohickey, and Cole with the soda guzzler. That's awesome. Like, when you go to the interior, it's super well designed. It's not simplistic or over designed. And honestly, like, something I really like about this is Lloyd's Formula 1 car. Okay, Arin's room looks really good. You even got the bench in? That's insane. Oh, okay, so it looks like you built in the feature where the hoops go up and down. Kalito seems to have this good grip on spatially organizing things, so everything feels like you can put a figure in there and it doesn't feel too empty or too cluttered, where I can still kind of play with it. But overall, I'm gonna give this build like a 8.5 out of 10.
Which is a crazy score. This guy is a landscape architecture major, one of the hardest majors ever, and he knows a lot. So I'm actually really surprised he liked a lot of my layout and design for the set. We have a crazy 8.75 out of 10 so far. Now, if you watch any kind of Ninjago YouTube content, you've definitely seen Bricks by Mine. This guy is the go at all kinds of LEGO Ninjago content. Makes his own crazy custom builds and is your go-to for set reviews.
Hey, this is Mine from the Bricks by Mine channel, and I'm here to give my thoughts on this custom UCS monastery build. This looks phenomenal. It's everything I could possibly want in a UCS monastery, and it's the exact kind of thing that I really hope we get one day. I love all the different rooms for every single ninja, and even including like Pixel and Frohickey in there. And each room is so like jam-packed with references too. It's awesome. My favorite one is probably in Zane's room, his faceplate. I think that would be a really cool piece to get. The game room looks straight out of the show with the little elevator next to it and everything. And then the courtyard too is so big and spacious with the training course and the dragon statue. And even including the dragon Spinjitzu spinners for both Lloyd and Nia makes it feel like an actual LEGO set. It's not just a display piece, there's stuff to play with too. I could probably talk for a very long time going through every single detail of this thing. But yes, phenomenal build. I would love if it was a real thing. 10 out of 10, absolutely.
No way we got a 10 out of 10. We're currently averaging at like a 9.2 right now. Our next guest is the biggest LEGO Ninjago builder ever. Yes, the one and only Brick Legends. This guy makes some of the craziest mocks ever, including Chen's Island in full. I'm actually so scared to hear what he has to say.
What's up, Kalito Productions? I'm Brick Legends, and to be really honest, this is one of, if not the best monastery mock I have ever seen. The amount of detail you were able to add to this build was truly incredible, and I love the minifigure selection and the different rooms throughout this build. My three favorite have to be Zane's bedroom, the gaming room, and the library. This build, I can definitely tell you poured hours upon hours of work into this massive monastery build, and it paid off. This truly looks like a masterpiece, and I would shell out at least $300 to buy this set. Good job, peace out, and subscribe to Kalito Productions.
He did confirm that he would give this a 9 out of 10, which is just bonkers, putting us at a 9.1 out of 10 average. Please make sure to go check out JWX, Four Corners, Brick Legends, and Bricks by Mine if you haven't already. These guys are legit the goats of the Ninjago community. If you got it this far into the video, I want to let you know that you are a true one. If you comment the word Gareth in the comments below, I will give you guys a heart. It really means so much to me to know that people are watching these videos and things that I make. So yeah, thank you guys. That's it for the video. Bye.
Sweet love a chicken, spine. He's gonna get all of that in there too. Sorry.